Unhappy with oily skin or facial blemishes?
Frustrated with those crow's feet growing more and more visible by the day?
Or desperate to get rid of those puffy eyes?
Then you're in luck.
Because you're listening to Queer Money episode 361, and today we're sharing one of the best but rarely talked about skincare solutions.
So let's not waste time then. Let's get on with the show.
So if the intro sounded like an infomercial, there was a reason. We're not really talking about skincare routine here, but we are talking about one of the things that oftentimes causes a lot of people to think they need a better skincare routine. It's stress. And the reality is the queer community has a lot of reasons to be stressed these days.
Not least of which is our money. The recent Motley Fool Debt for Guys LGBTQ Money Study found that 2 out of every 3 LGBTQ+ people stress about money at least once a week. It's some stressing daily.
Right. And that basically means when you're at a dinner party with friends from the queer community, and there are 6 of you, 4 of the people there are stressed about their money either daily or weekly.
That sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
On the flip side, 8% of transgender, straight, and non-LGBTQ+ members of the queer community and 6% of bisexual respondents reported very low levels of financial stress.
Yeah, that's great for them, but that's not good enough for the rest of us in the community, is it? Right? Stress can cause a lot of different things. For most people, it often causes poor sleep habits and fatigue in addition to those poor sleep habits. Maybe you get a rash, or if you already have existing conditions like psoriasis, rosacea, or eczema, this stress can exacerbate those, and it can also cause premature aging. So you now understand why we were talking about a skincare routine, because for a lot of us, stress does exhibit itself physically, but it's not just those physiological things that happen. For a lot of us, it also causes mental health and social issues.
Exactly. So what's the solution? Well, on Queer Money episode number 157, we covered 5 tips to eliminate financial stress. So we're going to do a brief recap of that today, but please listen to that episode if you need to dive in a little bit deeper.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind here is that for the reality is that for most folks, the basics are what will fix the majority of your financial woes. So we're going to be talking about some basics here.
Exactly. So number 1, use basic financial tools and banking products such as checking and savings accounts. A study done by Prudential a couple of years ago showed that very, very few of us were using those basic banking products. And so that has changed over the years, but we need to improve that for more of the community.
Right. And when you have a savings account, make sure you have an emergency savings account. Even just $400 will go a long way to alleviate a lot of that stress. So when it comes to your banking products for savings, checking, we encourage you, of course, to go to Capital One because they're the sponsor of the show and continually support the community all throughout the year, not just in June.
Exactly. Number 3, and this might be a little bit hard during this time of year because it's holiday seasons, which means holiday parties, right? Having the courage to say no to friends, family, and colleagues when you don't have the money to spend or you simply don't want to spend money. We're all getting all sorts of invitations and requests for white elephants and cocktail parties. If you're stressed about money, maybe doing some of those things isn't the best solution for you right now.
Exactly. Then number 4, increase your number of income streams. Most of us have one job, and I'll admit that one job can oftentimes be stressful in and of itself, but adding an additional income stream, whether that's through a couple of hours or maybe a weekend day of work, can actually help you alleviate some of that financial stress, which may help alleviate stress in other parts of your life as well.
Exactly. And then number 5, create and live by a budget. Most of us don't want to do that, especially also this time of year, just like we don't like to go on the scale this time of year, but a budget can really help you create guide rails that you can live within to help you achieve your goals, whether that's paying off debt or trying to build that emergency savings account that David mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I just read a statistic today that said that 86% of people paid off their debt just by starting to use a budget regularly.
Oh, that's amazing. Then after you implement all that, listen to episode 196 of the Queer Money podcast, because we talk on there about strategies to forgive yourself for your financial mistakes and challenges. And a lot of us need to simply forgive ourselves, create a plan, and move through it.
Right. Ultimately, the best way to reduce your financial stress and the anxiety is to actually have a plan. Just having a plan and knowing that you're going to do something gets you on that path of alleviating that stress. So we encourage you to use tools, of course, the Queer Money Podcast, but we also have created a list of LGBTQ personal finance bloggers on debtfreeguys.com. Go search for that if you want some assistance from other folks within the queer community.
Exactly. Now stay tuned for your Queer Money takeaway from this episode. Thank you for listening to another episode. Here is your Queer Money takeaway. If you're stressing about money, and 2 out of every 3 of us are, plan this weekend to create a plan. Listen to episode 157 of the Queer Money Podcast if you need help with creating that plan, or search debtfreeguys.com for LGBTQ personal finance bloggers.
Then join us next Tuesday when we interview Hannah and Juliet of the new PBS show Opportunity Knocks. And then next Thursday for our final show of 2022 when we talk about what LGBT folks are focused on most when it comes to their finances. Thanks and have a great week.